Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to the Ozzstar Cars channel. It's back. If you see it back there, that's another one. Well, actually, that was one from a little while ago. We replaced the rear O2 was bad, and it had a wheel speed sensor that went bad on it, among a whole bunch of other things. This is the van that sat for a long time. I think it has about 135,000 miles on the clock. Anyway, it's back. It's got a battery light on the dash and also has the check engine light on. So let's go in there, let's see what's going on. I'll fire up the scanner. So there we go, we got a battery light and a check engine light right there. So let's come over to the scan tool. I've already plugged in the Bluetooth. Let's hit diagnostics. And what is this here? Oil reset. I don't want any of this. Would I hit the wrong button? Diagnostics. There we go. Alright, so let that load up. We'll go in here and see exactly what codes we have. PCM and read codes. The engine's actually on right now, so why don't I just shut this, put the ignition on. I just pulled it in here into the shop and it is running like dookie. Definitely has a misfire. You can hear it and you can feel it, like a sputtering kind of action. So let this load up and I'll fire the camera back on. Alright, so here's our codes. We got a P, that one in blue is a P0301, so he's right, that's cylinder 1 misfire. And what's this, 0316, misfire detected on startup, okay. And then a P1000, that means probably somebody tried to clear something out at one point. And then the 301. So we definitely have a cylinder misfire here on cylinder 1. Why don't I escape out of this and let's go to let's get into some diagnostics here. So let me start this. Let's see for ourselves. Go to control unit. Let's go to PCM. Let's go to active test. We'll let that load up. So we saw the codes. Let's go to the service here and let's try to do some tests. Let's go to powertrain, the power balance test. That's something with Fords as far as checking what cylinders are dropping out, if any, and kind of the health of it. So let's give it a second to load up. Now, the best way to do this is you should put it in gear and hold the brake and power brake it. But my problem is this thing has a bad ABS module, or not module, but pump, and the pedal gets real soft, and I don't feel like going through the wall over there. So anyway, let's just look at what we have here. So here's our cylinders 1 through 8. That's the firing order, and you can definitely see number 1 is dropping out. So we want to be, you know, the red line up there is basically where we're shooting for. Most of the cylinders are pretty much around there. H is kind of dropping off, and I don't know if that has to do with number 1 or not. But let me just put my foot on the brake and put it in gear. I'm not going to gas it or anything. Let's see what happens. You see 2 just dropped out. There's 1. So it's basically still in 1. If I give it a little gas, we'll get risky. You watch this RPM, I believe is what that is down there, and get that up a little bit. Yeah, that's good enough for me. Anyway, so that's how that test is done. You can definitely see 1 has got big time issues. So we're going to go to that. Let's get out of that test. Let's go to, let's see, what else can we do here? Let's go, there's I think it's mode 6. Let's go to that. Here you go. So here's mode 6, and this will tell us the misfire counts in each cylinder. So let's go to that. Let's see what's going on with that. I'll let that load up, and we'll take a peek, and this is like on individual cylinders exactly what's going on, almost like a health report. I think it does EGR and EVAP also, at least with this scan tool. This is the if I didn't mention it, MS906 Bluetooth BT. Okay, so here exhaust gas is Now we're in mode 6, so here's your min and max and your values, and that's the unit, like if it's in voltage. So this is all catalyst, EGR, evap. There you go, misfire. So, oop, I just passed it, it's in blue. So, misfire monitor data. Total engine misfire is, what are we at, 20, almost 25%, so that's not a good number. Highest cylinder misfire rate, 12.5%. Hopefully I'm getting all that on camera. Try not to be too shaky. So here's misfire, oops, cylinder 1, I just highlighted it. So the last count, and I think if we refresh, it doesn't give you live data on the spot, but if we go out of this and come back, it'll keep giving us, but you can see a total of 65,000 misfires here, and that's 24% or 12, yeah, 24%, 12.42% right now. So here's, for instance, cylinder 2, you can see the values, no misfires. 3, these are all zeros, that's what we want to see. I'm going to scroll through. 5, nothing, nope, nothing. 6, 7, and 8. We're looking good. So we're going to go to number 1, and the nice thing is, what we can do is, I mean, I could hook up a scope, but I'm not going to. I definitely know cylinder 1 has a misfire, so I'm going to go in there. This is an old piece of dookie van. I don't think this, my buddy here, the owner, wants a full tune-up. He'll probably be fine with it, but I'm just going to go in, swap out number 1 spark plug and coil, and we'll see, you know, we'll go to that misfire count and see if that will clear up that check engine light. Now the battery light, we need to get some voltage action here. Let's go to live data, or data, depending where you're from. What do you guys say, data or data? Put it in the comments down below. Battery positive voltage, 11.87, that's not good. It should be, the engine's running right now, should be around, what, 13, 14 volts. I'm gonna bring the accelerator up a little bit. Let's see, I'll bring it up to about, I'm looking at the tach. We could pull up the PID, but we don't need to. It's about 2 grand. And the voltage is not moving at all, so we're gonna have to diagnose the alternator. I don't believe that has anything to do with our misfire at the moment. So anyway, we got some direction here. Let me go swap out that spark plug and the coil. I don't need to show you guys that. It's hard to film anyway on that number 1. Number 1 is going to be the passenger side front cylinder towards the front of the van or truck that you're working on, if it's a Ford. I have a video. I will leave a link in the description below if you need help on how to remove the coil and spark plugs. I have a dedicated video just for these type of vans that have the doghouse right here in it, how to get to that, how to access those. So let me do that, and I'll pick the camera back up as soon as I can. Well, I just pulled out the number 1 coil. I didn't even get to the plug yet. Let me show you why. We got bad news here. So let me get this in the light. Here's the coil, pulled it out. It's got all this crap on it, and what that is remnants of coolant. This is soaking wet. I don't know if you can see on the end here. Let me put this down right here. I put the battery charger on here. This is all wet, soaking wet. It was dripping when I pulled it out. All right, so we go all out here on the Ozzstar Cars channel. So I got a mirror, an observation mirror set up with the light, and hopefully you're going to be able to see down into that cylinder, and you'll see the pond down there. And at the top of the, that's called the spark plug tube, you can see corrosion, kind of that yellow crusty crap. So most likely, oops, let me get you set up here. I'll zoom in a little more. Hopefully it's not blurry. Most likely what we got here then is an intake manifold that's leaking coolant in there. So that's what we got going on. This yellow gunk, this is some oil up here, but there's yellow gunk right there. That's coolant. It's probably dripping down past and into it. So I'll confirm with the flat rate master here on YouTube. He's the man, and see what he thinks. I know he works or has worked on probably thousands of these cargo beauties. So I blew the coolant out of that cylinder with compressed air, and I had a known good used coil, pop that in. I've got the power balance test going. You can see that number one dead cylinder is gone now. When I rev it, it's much smoother. So anyway, yeah, it was obvious that was our issue. But anyhow, just wanted to show you. So let me explain what's going on here with this leak, or what I think is going on anyway. The intake is back there, that black hump, big plastic piece. I'm trying to film it as best I can. I got the new alternator in and it's running or charging nicely. But this corroded aluminum piece that goes all the way back over there, that's the thermostat right there, the housing, the upper radiator hose goes in there. Anyway, that has coolant in it, comes across here, and I believe this is probably cracked or the gasket's blown out, or both, right in this area, and that's our number one cylinder right over in here. So what's happening is this thing is leaking and it's running, the coolant's running down right into that spark plug tube, and there we go, we got a coolant pond. So that's what's caused the misfire, and it is what it is. All right, well, that's pretty much the beginning of the end of the story, something like that. We got the bad news here. So it's an intake manifold that's leaking and it's dripping down into that tube. So what I did, you saw, I got rid of the misfire, at least for the next 5 minutes anyway. I'm not sure what my buddy here is going to do with the van, but if we do a repair, maybe I can film it. I'm not sure. It's pretty tight in there. It's very tough to get clearance and stuff and move around, but we'll see what's what. Anyhow, thanks for stopping by. Check out some of my other automotive repair videos. I definitely have plenty of van videos out there now, so I guess 7 cylinders is better than none. So thanks for stopping in. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Leave a like and a comment, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.